Hey guys, it's Miss Jackson, and I want to share one of my favorite books with you. It's called Go Away, Big Green Monster. This is written by Ed Emberley. He is also the illustrator. If you are the illustrator, you make the beautiful pictures in the book, and if you are the author, you are in charge of also making all the words. This is going to be part of our green page. I am adding this to our pre-recorded jobs for you to do whenever you get around to it. So it might be in the morning sometime. It might be, well, who knows when, but I can't wait for you to do it because this is one of my favorite. Now take a look at this book. I have to order another one. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but this is a loved book. I actually got this book probably my first year teaching, so it's lasted a long time, but I definitely need a Go Away Big Green Monster. This is a book that if you were ever wondering or wanting recommendations on a great at-home library book for your home, this is going to be one of your favorites. I know it. Everybody loves this book. And I have to hold it very carefully. Big Green Monster has 2 big yellow eyes. And a long bluish green nose. And a big red mouth with super sharp teeth. And 2 squiggly wiggly ears. And scraggly waggly purple hair. And a big scary green face. You don't scare me. So go away, purple scraggly wiggly hair. Bye-bye. Go away, 2 little squiggly wiggly ears. Adios. Go away, long bluish greenish nose. Ta-ta. Go away, big green face. Au revoir. Go away, big red mouth. Bye, with really sharp white teeth. Toodaloos. And go away, 2 big yellow eyes. And go away, big green monster. And don't come back unless I tell you to. So I love this story because I think it's super duper funny bunnies, and we are going to be adding our very own Big Green Monster to our Rainbow Book of Colors book. So we are going to move to the green page. Tomorrow morning we're going to read through our first 3 pages, and we are going to read these every single day. There's a lot of pages in this book, and I have to tell you, by the time we're done with it, you're going to be able to read all of them to your family. So first thing I'm going to do right up here is I am definitely going to be shading in my bucket, and I'm going to be making sure that I grab my crayons, and I am going to get green. I have my dark green right over here, so I'm going to go ahead and just color in that green bar all the way through there. Just like so. With my pencil, because we always make our words with pencil, I am going to be writing the color word green. If you don't remember all the letters, they are right up here. And I'm going to use my pointer, and I want you to help me read. This is the big blank monster. What am I going to put there? Green. So help me spell it. I need to have a G-R-E-E-N, which spells green. Go away, big green monster. Well, the first thing that we're going to need for our monster job, oh, I actually don't have all my supplies. Aren't I super silly? Let me snag those really fast. And I'm back. You would think that if I'm pre-recording these things, I would just stop that recording and redo, but you know what? This is life. This is how it is. I forgot my green paper. Silly Miss Jackson, I tell ya. So I'm going to grab one of my green sheets that I have, and you know how I am about paper. We don't want to waste it. So I'm going to take this green sheet that I have either in my gift from the district where we got a whole bunch of paper, or this week there is a sheet of green paper inside our jobs. You're not going to need to use all of that green paper, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold mine down. I'm going to open it up, and I am going to cut along my line that I folded. Okay? Just like so. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this either in my scrap bin, if you have a scrap bin, or if you've got a Ziploc bag that you're putting them in. Maybe you're even putting them in a folder. I actually have been keeping mine in a folder just because I'm working only in such small areas, but I mean, that doesn't really matter to you guys. But anyway, I'm going to make my big green monster. And what shape do you think I should make his face? I like it. I think we should do a circle too. Now remember, I don't want to cover up my words. Okay, so I don't want it to block any of my words. So when I am measuring to see how big I want to make my circle for his face, I'm going to do it with my fingers first, and then I'm going to cut and trim up. So how I usually make my circles is I trim up all my corners, just like this. These are really stiff scissors. These are workout scissors. All right, but again, you guys were telling me you wanted it to be a circle or even a stretched out circle, which kind of looks like a oval. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some of my sharp corners, and I'm going to make a happy face to the next corner. Whoa, I got really sidetracked on that one. Then I'm going to go again to my next corner. And I like that. I'm actually totally okay with that top part being flat because he's got hair, doesn't he? We're going to put hair on him, so it's going to work out perfect. These are great small green pieces of paper. If you have the space, if you have the area, put this into a scrap basket. Okay, it's really great to just have a little basket to put your scraps in, so that way when we're doing jobs and we need just a little bit of green, we have access to a little bit of green. Okay, this year I was planning, I don't know, but I was planning on having every color in the rainbow. So I was planning on having actually 7 scrap bins. 7. So I was going to put all the blues in the blues and all the greens in the greens, and you guys, so when you guys are snipping away and you have little pieces of green, you'll go put that in the green scrap bin. That way we're not digging in the scrap bin. So last year I had a big macho one and we would dig through it, and I thought, you know what, I think if I can make the room, if I can stretch out the room, then we can have each color. So I'm very excited about that. Sorry, little sidetrack. All right, so here is my face. Now I have to make my face look like the big, scary, green monster. So I'm going to grab my glue, and I'm just going to take a little bit with my glue sponge, and I'm going to dab a little bit by his chinny chin chin, and then a little bit over here. This is one of my dryer glue sponges. I wish I would have grabbed my other one. That's okay. We're going to make it work. It's not falling off, so woo-woo. All right. We were talking about what's the first thing that the book talks about. It says, go away, big. What color eyes? Yellow eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my paper in half like I did before, but I'm actually not going to trim it up. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I typically freehand, but I'm not going to freehand this time. I'm going to draw out a circle, a smaller circle, because these are going to be their eyes, his eyes. And I'm going to go all the way around with my scissors, and I'm going to use walking scissors, okay? Ah! All right, I'm going to put those puppies in there, right onto my face, just like so. And I'm going to lift, like so. I'm going to look for one of my dark crayons, and I'm going to give him pupils. Those dark little circles that are in our eyeballs are called pupils. The pupils are actually the magical power of our eyes. So our pupils are actually what makes our eyeballs really work. What kind of nose does he have? A bluish greenish nose. I do not. I'm not lucky enough to have bluish greenish paper. You might have some at home, but I don't. So I'm going to use my bluish greenish blue-green crayon. And just like in the book, his nose looks like, kind of like a potato. So I'm actually going to just make a U. Just like if I was drawing a U for my letters, and then I'm going to shade it in. I mean, you could use a blue piece of paper if you really wanted yours to be paper. He also has those squiggly wiggly ears. Squiggly wiggly ears. No ears are the same. So neither are his. So cool. Then they talk about his mouth. The scariest part of him is his big red mouth. So I'm going to take my red paper and I'm going to make his mouth. Now I have to be very careful. It's pretty small in here, isn't it? So I'm going to take that finger and I'm going to go back and forth so I can get a good feeling. I just lost my red piece of paper under my table. Right now I'm sitting at our, what I call the island tables. They're tables that are in the middle of the room, and they're single tables, so they're not like a long table, but these are nice tables to sit at every now and then when you're wanting to work, like on your journal. This is a great journal area. All right, so let's see. I'm going to kind of go all the way across because I want to measure to make sure that I make this a good size. So I really need to probably go about right here. So I'm just going to take that paper and I'm going to trim up my mouth just like so. It's very important that you're doing the work. It's very important that you're doing the cutting, and it's very important that you are monitoring how big of the pieces you're going to need. That's a very big kindergarten thing to do, okay? So take a look. I'm covering up my nose. So what do you suggest I do? What should I do? I should trim it up. We were just talking about this today. Now, you don't trim your hair, you don't trim your clothes, but you can trim your paper and your supplies. So let's see if I trimmed it up enough. Oh, it's still kind of covering his nose. I'm going to make it just a little bit tinier. a wee little bit tinier. So take a look how I'm going to do that. I'm just going to trim a little bit on the side there, and then I'm going to trim a little bit over here. Oh, I love it. I think this is super perfect. What do you guys think? I love it! So I'm going to take my red, I'm going to take my glue sponge, I'm going to give it a little push into my sponge, and again, I have one of my drier sponges, silly Miss Jackson. So, because I'm not filling them up because we're not in here, so I'm trying to just fill my own up, and then when I go sit down somewhere to do a job, I'm like, I don't have any glue! Woo! He has what kind of teeth? Very white teeth. This was from last week's supplies where I had this half sheet of paper. Oh, I was in the spray zone there. This is why I gotta wear a mask. So for my teethers, I'm gonna look here and I'm gonna see, that's not very big. I don't need to make really super big triangles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go zigzag, and try to make all your zigzag. It's okay. It's okay if you trimmed it up and you have to make them separate. You can totally make them separate. But let's see how well these fit. Oh, do you like it? Should I trim them up a little bit? So remember, when we're trimming, we're just going to take a little bit here. If I wanted to make them zigzaggy, like one going up and one going down, I could totally do that if I wanted to. But I like this. I think this looks great. So I'm going to take my glue. I'm going to give it a little push. And let's see if I can use that glue on the tip of it. Oh my goodness, he looks so scary. Go away, big green monster! And don't come back until I say so. Well, something's missing. What else does he need? He needs a purple scraggly hair. So this is where I call it freehand scissoring. I love it when we are freehand cutting. That is so good for our kindergarten brains. It's so good for us to get a good feel of that fluidness when we're cutting. Because if you're trying really hard to make your really tiny squiggly hair and you're cutting and you're going to get all like, so freehand it. That's what I suggest. So what I'm going to do right here, watch for my squiggly wiggly hair. I'm going to go up and I'm going to go down. Then I'm going to turn back around and I'm going to make it look like, almost like C. And you could, if you wanted to really use like a purple crayon, you could. But I love how strong my hands are getting by just going wiggle with my scissors. All right, I am going to pay attention to how wide my head is. So, I'm going to go from here to here. I'm going to get a good feel for it. I'm going to count too. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to make one more wiggly here. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's going to be long enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's about a 4 count. Oh yeah! Now I'm covering up my words though. So I'm going to have to push it down a little bit or give them a haircut. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to get my glue in there. And I'm just going to put glue onto the bottom part here so that it's perfectly on here like this. And then this is when I'm going to play hairdresser. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to go boop, 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 boop. There we go. Now I didn't cover anything up and I feel like I am a hairstylist. I just cut his hair. So awesome. Can you please read this with me? green. This is the big green monster. I cannot wait to see yours. Feel free to take a picture and send it my way. I cannot wait. We are doing such a great job on this book. Talk really soon, my little love bugs.